Hello, hello, hello. I'm alive. There we go. I think we're on. Hi guys, how's it going? We're live. I hope everyone is doing well. Just give me a second to settle in here. So sorry that we're starting a bit late. I actually hate tardiness, but I apologize, guys. I got delayed. Um, yeah, just dealing with some lockdown enforced issues. Nevertheless, how's everyone doing? I really hope that everyone is surviving the lockdown. Well, it's actually day one, so to be saying that I hope you guys are surviving the lockdown is probably premature. Like, of course, you guys are surviving lockdown. It's day one. Like, everyone's living their best lives. It's day one of the lockdown. So, like, we're still sane. We're still having a good time. So, right. But yeah, I've actually been trying to find out more and more of what you guys are going through, particularly from a student perspective, because I think it's not been a very big part of the national conversation at the moment. A lot of the media traffic and the news traffic has been about. Can you guys hear me? Actually, if anyone can comment to say, can you guys hear me? Because I can hear myself, but I don't know if you can hear me. So yeah, is there anybody there who can confirm if you guys can hear me? Because I don't want to talk and find myself talking for like half an hour and then no one can hear me. So anybody got something to say? All right, I'll wait for comments for people to say they can or cannot. Can you guys hear me? Whoever's online, just please let me know if you guys can hear me. Because like I said, I don't want to talk forever and then find out like halfway through the chat that you guys can't actually hear me. But yeah, okay. So yes, I was saying that a lot of the news traffic has been more about employees, employers, small businesses, and how everything's going to affect the economy and the worker market. Not a lot of news traffic about how it's affecting education and the students and so forth. What I have heard is that a lot of you guys have already been asked to go back home, to leave residences and so forth. So I'm quite actually interested and intrigued to find out or to hear how everything is going on your guys' side. How you guys are managing? Is there a change in the curriculum? Have you guys been sent home with work to do, or have some of you been able to stay in residences or stay in school? Like, I'm actually more intrigued to find out how this is going to affect the education system more than anything else, to be honest with you. But anyways, we'll get into the COVID-19 stuff in a second. We'll chat about that. Just quick announcements from my side. So obviously this is day one of the national lockdown. So we're all supposed to be indoors, except for essential staff. So just been chilling at home, working from home. Those of you who do follow me on my social media pages will know that I do have some exciting news, some very, very exciting news. My poetry album is launching on the 1st of April. So that's something I'm really excited for. With or without the lockdown, it's going to be available on all like major online platforms. Well, actually on all online music streaming platforms, from iTunes to Apple Music, Deezer, Spotify, Tidal, Google Play, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, etc. So anything online will be available there from the 1st of April. So I'm excited about that. So I've been working on that on the background now at home, and so forth. So that's really something that I'm really excited about. And then yeah, everything else. I mean, things are rough right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm actually more interested to find out what's going on with you guys, with you students. But I'll be honest with you. COVID-19 has taken the world by storm. It's taken the country by storm. Nobody really knows what they're doing, and I think that's some of the frustration that the people are having, like the masses are having, that they don't actually have proper information and so forth. But the truth and the reality is that everyone's making it up as they go along. That's just the honest truth. Just quickly on my album. I'm actually wearing my merchandise because there's actually some merchandise on the album. So this is actually the album merch that's going to be available when it launches. So yeah, but yeah, so I think that's the first thing that I wanted to like chat about, the fact that really no one actually knows what is going on, how bad it's going to be, and what the best way forward is. The reality and the truth is that governments are making it up as they're going along, and they are taking in as much advice as they can from the different parties. At least the governments who do take advice are taking as much advice from the medical fraternity, from the businesses and the economic side of the government, in order to put together a way forward. So that's so right now everyone's worried about how long is COVID-19 going to be a thing, how long are we going to be in lockdown. And the truth is, right now we're in lockdown for 3 weeks, 21 days. If things get better, then maybe we might return to some sense of normal. But the reality and the truth is there is no glide path. You must also understand that people are talking about a vaccine, but vaccines take a long time to create. A lot of you guys in like the medical or biological studies at school will know this, that it takes a long time to develop a vaccine. Never mind the testing and like all the rules, the regulations, and the stuff you have to go through in order to actually get to a point where you can now test on humans. Before then, you can release the vaccine. So realistically speaking, we're looking at the vaccine in about a year's time. So like in 2021, there might actually be a vaccine. We don't know where the economies of the world will be by then, and so forth. So it's been a really, it's as much as it's a hard time. I think for me the thing is it's not going to get any better, or it's not going to get severely better anytime soon. So I think that's just something that I want to let everybody know, that we gotta be strong, we gotta hang in there. We also gotta be very pragmatic about the situation, because you don't know when you're gonna be going back to school. Businesses don't know when they're actually going to be going back to normal, operations. Governments don't know how bad this is going to get to affecting the healthcare system, the economy. I mean, there's a lot going on. We all know that the GDP South Africa hasn't been growing. South Africa is technically in a recession, or has been in a recession. So shutting down and a go slow of the economy is not good for anyone. From the richest of the rich to the poor of the poor, it's not good for anyone, because we haven't been experiencing very good growth recently. So there's a lot to think about and a lot to assess and to understand, and also a lot to worry about. I think a lot of people are worried, they're concerned, and it's hard. I'll be honest with you guys, from my perspective, and this is something that I really want to talk about, because I'm an entrepreneur. And so I've got companies that I've founded and that I work, that's like what I do. I'm a full-time entrepreneur. So I don't have formal employment. And so for me, I'm at the forefront. I'm part of that community of entrepreneurs and small business owners who are at the forefront of the sheer devastation of it all, just the sheer economic devastation of it all. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. I was just reading something here. But yeah, so the sheer devastation of small businesses and entrepreneurs, it's rough, and yeah, the government has released some money, or they have released funds where there will be money accessible to small businesses so they don't retrench and shut down their businesses. But I mean, that's neither here nor there from the context of we'll see how well all of these funds are distributed and where the money, and if the money actually gets to the people that it needs to get to, and that's a continuous assessment. We'll have to see if all of that actually does happen. So we live in uncertain times, and what you need to do when you are in uncertain times is really to be as calm and pragmatic, and stay away from panic as much as possible. When I say calm and stay away from panic, I mean and I said this, I think, in our last chat, a lot of people are panic buying, people are panic selling, people are taking extra medication. Some people are actually going to end up like messing up with their health because they're overloading their bodies with vitamins and whatnot. Some people are just like, you guys are overly stressed. Like, you need to stay calm. Don't work yourself into a complete frenzy, because you might actually end up catching this thing because you're so stressed. Your immune system is so weak that like even a scratch can turn into a damn infection because you've worked yourself into a complete frenzy. And also, when you're not calm, you end up making some really, really poor decisions. So, as cliche and as nonsensical as it sounds, it's important for us to stay calm in this time and to stay away from panic. The little money that you have, we had a meeting with our employees on the last day, just telling people that, listen, you're going to get paid your salary at the end of the month, even though we haven't actually generated much revenue because, we've been shutting down projects. Clients have been calling to halt projects and so forth. So revenue's been slow in coming, but we were like, everyone will get paid. But whatever money you're getting paid, you need to be very frugal and smart with the way you spend your money from here on in, because you don't know how long this whole situation is going to last. None of us know, including us as business owners and employers. We don't know for how long we're not going to be able to operate normally. So the salary we're giving you right now, and whatever salary we'll be able to pay for like moving forward, you must stretch that for as long as possible. Stretch, be frugal, and all that stuff. Stretch that money as long as possible. So don't give in to panic buying, because you're going to end up buying stuff you don't need. Don't give in to the panic. Stay calm. That's what we told people. Because that's the truth. And so we were very honest and real with our people to be like, we don't actually know how long it's going to last and for how long we're actually going to be able to pay people their salaries. So we're really hoping that, the small business funding and support from the government and other enterprises, corporate enterprises, will filter through to the people who need it most. That for me is the first thing I said. I was like, I hear what the president is saying, but I just hope that it won't be one of those cases where the money doesn't actually, or rather, let me say the resources, they don't get to the people who need them the most. So times are tough, but we are a resilient people, man. South Africans are very resilient, very think on your feet. We're very smart. We're street smart people, and this is in times like these. This is when you need your street smartness. I grew up in a single parent household. My mom was single parent, and there's three of us that she was supporting. My cousins, my aunts, my grandparents and whatnot. So I come from a background, and I know for a fact a lot of you guys come from a similar background where we know how to stretch money. We know how to stretch out a meal. You know what I mean? Like, you know how to make a braai pack last for a month. Like, just one braai pack. You know how to, like, stretch out your meals and stretch out the little resources that you have. And in times like these, that street smartness is something you're going to have to tap into. Because, like I said, you don't know. And the last thing you want to do is be caught with your pants down, where you thought it'd be over in 2 months, or you thought it'd be over in a month. Now, 3 months later, you're out of resources and stuff because you didn't have the forethought or the foresight that this might actually be a real thing for a long time. What's the question there? Are we going to receive next month's what? The question is, are we going to receive next month? Receive what exactly? You're talking about your stipends. Right, you can just type. I'll read. I'll keep talking, and then when you've given me clarity on what your question is, then I'll respond. But yeah, so whatever you have, stretch it out. And that goes for everything, hey? That goes for food, it goes for money, it goes for data, it goes for electricity or power, or like whatever it is that you have got as a resource. It goes for hygiene, hygiene items, lotion, all those things. And I know it sounds like I'm talking panic talk because none of these things are technically going to run out, which is true because the supply chain is still running. In fact, the guys in factories are still going to work, by the way, and they're still producing food. they're still packaging stuff, they're still producing all these things in the stores. When you go to the store, you will find material. But what I'm saying is, in the context of the fact that you don't know how much money you're going to have in the future, you may not be able to buy things three months from now because you may not have the funds to, because of the situation that might be happening in the country. If this thing goes on for a long time, we're going to get to that point where, we're now actually feeling the financial pinch, and we're feeling the financial effects of it. So in the back of my mind, that's my thing, that I got to make sure things are lasting longer than they normally would have under normal circumstances. But like I said, I'm more interested to find out what's going on in the universities, guys. So if you guys can comment, Vutomi, if you can just please elaborate on your question. What do you mean? Are we going to receive next month? What are you talking about exactly? If you can just tell me exactly what you're talking about, then I can see how best to assist you. But like I said, I'm more interested in to find out how, things are going at the universities, and how you guys are managing and dealing with this stuff. But the truth and the reality of the matter is that it is what it is. You got to just make the best of what you can. And I know for a lot of students, data is always an issue. Data is expensive, even though they've cut down on data prices now, which to me actually proves that there was never a reason for data to be expensive. It's always been possible for data to be affordable. We're not saying we must do like they do in the Netherlands, where data is like a constitutional right. I think data is free or something there. Or it's built into the constitution, something like that. So we're not saying we're at that point yet, but can we have affordable data? Like, data prices are ridiculous in South Africa. So data prices have been slashed. I think Vodacom has done that. MTN has done that. So you should be able to get whatever online materials you need to keep up with the curriculum, if you guys are still keeping up with curriculum, and if there's an online resource for that. But it's intense. But like, my thing to you guys is, you gotta stay, keep in touch with your friends, keep in touch. I don't know what your situation is, whether you're still at res or you're back at home. The first thing I would say is just make sure that you take care of your mental health. Don't lose your mind. Don't lose your mind, you know what I'm saying? So keep in touch with friends and family, depending on where you are. If you're at home and so you're away from your academic routine, your academic support structure, keep in touch with those people to find out how they're doing, how are they managing, what are they up to, and almost that's sort of like how we have study groups, but it's a study support group. It's there to support us in studying and keeping up to date with stuff, but also in keeping our mental health and not going crazy and losing our minds. And if you are still at res, or you're still at university, or you're at private accommodation or digs or whatever, and you're missing home, and now you can't go home anytime soon, and you're feeling a bit isolated from your family support structure, keep in touch with them, via all sorts of methods that we can do that. Technology is a real thing now. There are a lot of free platforms out there where we can call each other and see each other and support each other and just keep each other sane. So wherever you are, whatever your situation is, my recommendation would be to reach out to people. I'm quarantined here alone, so that's something that I've already put into my daily routine, to reach out to people and to connect with people, lest I lose my mind. Stuck in the confines of my apartment for 21 days without any physical contact with people. But, there's a lot of work to be done. And this is what I keep telling people, that when you actually think about it, you shouldn't get bored in the next 21 days. There's a crap load of work to actually be done. All of those things you've been putting off doing because you don't have enough time to do them, now's the time to do them because you have the time. All those skills, those trainings you wanted to take, those videos you wanted to watch, that new skill you wanted to learn, a new hobby you wanted to pick up, a cupboard you wanted to clean out, all the stuff that you have said, oh, when I get time, I'll do it. When I get time, I'll do it. Or when the time is right, I'll do it. The time is right now. It is right now. Now's the time to do it. Get to doing it. So whatever skill you want to learn, like for example, I'm actually picking up coding right now because I want to code. I want to learn how to program. So I actually built an app. Actually, let me see if I can open it. I was so excited with myself the other day. I came home yesterday and I opened up my coding program, and then I just like played around with it, and I basically built myself an app. Very, 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 very basic app. It just has, it does one function. It just like creates a list of to-dos. So very basic app, but I coded it myself. I wrote the code myself. So I'm actually really excited to do more of that because I really want to go into coding and develop my own applications. So there's that. I'll also be using the time, myself and my business partners, we've all decided that we'll use the time that we have now to actually get our house in order in terms of our business. So all the compliance stuff that we has fallen behind, we've briefed everyone on our team, from the accountants to the guys in legal, all employees. Everyone has taken work home to the extent that they can do it from home. Keeping in mind that we're in the event space, by the way, I didn't actually say that. I've got two major companies. The one is marketing, activations, and events company, and the other one is a tech startup. So the tech startup, it's easy to work from home because we mainly either we're working with developers or we're working online, one way or another. The events one is difficult. It's the one that's been hardest hit. Because we can't do events, we can't do anything that is in contact with human beings. So that's been a hard hit. But we had a meeting on the last day in the office, and we decided that we're all taking home some work. And there's a lot of work to do. Like I said, there's a lot of like compliance stuff that we need to follow up on and get done. There's a lot of the strategic vision of the company that we need to also be working on. So there's like a lot of stuff on the back end that needs to get done. So that's actually what we're doing right now. We're doing work on the back end of the business. To any of you guys who have started a business or who have worked in the business, you'll know that there is a crap load of behind the scenes work that goes into owning, running a business sustainably and profitably. There's a lot of back end work that no one sees or recognizes, and that doesn't really generate revenue, but all of that work and that foundation needs to be laid in order to actually get the work done. So yeah. So that's what we'll be doing. So I imagine with all of you guys as well, apart from your schoolwork, there's a lot of stuff that you guys can take up. You guys can check out a plethora of different sites. I mean, everyone's doing it now. I mean, I know Udemy is doing online courses, or they've always been doing online courses, online like training sessions where you can pick up any sort of skill, from like drawing to coding to marketing to accounts, like anything that you can imagine. Udemy has, and that's spelled Udemy, Udemy. So you can check out that Udemy. They've got paid courses and free courses. So you can check that stuff out to see what kind of skill you want to learn over the next 21 days. A really cool one that one of my mates is working on, she's partnered with Henley Business School, and they're doing 21 lessons over 21 days. That's what it's actually called, with Henley Business School. 21 lessons in 21 days, completely online, completely free. And the courses and the lessons are led by experts in the particular industry. So they cover stuff from marketing, they cover stuff about entrepreneurship and starting a business, running a business, and the like. So whatever you want to learn, I'm pretty sure you can find free resources online to do that. And then when all else fails, there's always the University of YouTube, where you can just check out YouTube videos to learn something new. And then last but not least, when everything fails and technology lets us all down, just old school reading, fam. Just grab a book and read. Grab a dictionary, grab a Bible, grab a fiction book. I myself have, I'm just like walking around to show you my collection here. I myself have, I don't know if you can see that. You guys can't see it. Anyways, I myself have a whole collection of books here. I must have 100 books in the house. Everything from fiction, non-fiction, to business, to politics, more politics. Self-improvement. I've got the Shonda Rhimes book, Year of Yes. More politics. I've got Che Guevara here. And some more politics. I've got Steve Biko. I write what I like. This is one of my faves. You know, oh Lord have mercy. Yeah, I've got the Long Walk to Freedom by Utata Madiba. You know, I've got books, more books on the future, on future proofing yourself and self-improvement and preparing your business for the future. So I have plenty of books to some I can reread because some are that good. So when all else fails, you can read. I'm sure more LinkedIn, you've got plenty of textbooks and plenty of reading material. So if you can't go online, you can read. Essentially, there's no need for you not to be able to pick up a new skill in the next 21 days. So I repeat, the two platforms you guys can check out, like I said, 21 lessons in 21 days, which is offered by Henley Business School, completely free. And then there's also Udemy, Udemy. You can check that out. They offer paid and free courses. So, And if you guys, like I said, you go onto the internet and check stuff out. There's a lot of free platforms out there, more than the ones that I've just mentioned. A lot of free online learning platforms where you can pick up skills. And everyone's doing it now. You know, Vodacom's doing it. So there's just so much that you can do in the next 21 days to improve yourself. I think it will be a really sad thing if people come out of the 21 days and you're genuinely not a better person than you are when you went into quarantine or into lockdown and you haven't actually learned a new skill. I think that would be an indictment actually on you. If you haven't actually learned a new skill, sorry, I got cut off there. So I would actually say, even though you're a student, you might feel that, no, I'm a student, I'm always learning new skills. You've got 21 days, you're away from school. I'm pretty sure there's something that you're not learning at school that you've always been like, I'd really love to know more about this particular topic. Now's the time to do it. That's what I'm saying. The question is, okay, so allowance. Are we going to receive allowance next month? Are we going to receive meal allowance and cash allowance next month? Listen, as far as I know, I can double check this, or perhaps you should actually ask your program managers. That's actually my first recommendation before I give you my perspective on the matter. My recommendation is check with your program managers to confirm. They will be able to give you the most up-to-date and correct information. So just double check with your program managers. What I can say from my perspective is I suspect or I expect that you will get your allowances, your meal and cash allowance. That's what I suspect. If I'm just thinking about it logically, you still are going through an academic year, and it's not your fault that you can't go to school. And the funds would have been procured and budgeted for anyways. So I don't think the bursary or the funding arrangement is based on you going to I don't think the funding arrangement is based on you going to school if it is out of your control not to be able to go to school. So what I'm saying is that from my perspective, what I understand is that you will receive your allowances, but don't quote me on that because like I said, I don't handle the funding matters. I would recommend you guys speak to your program managers to find out the most up-to-date information about that. But from what I understand, and from my perspective on the matter, I expect that you will receive your allowances without interruption because banking is still running and everything. And like I said, the funds have been procured or budgeted for. So you know, it's out of your hands that you can't go to school. It's not of your own accord. It's out of your hands, and you still need a way to be able to survive and get by. So I imagine that you will get your allowances. But like I say, I don't have all of that information because I don't really manage that side of things. So ask your program managers if all else fails. That's my response to the question about receiving allowances. But yeah, I don't know if anybody else has any other questions. We're reaching our closure time. My only thing right now, guys, is obviously stay safe. It's a no-brainer, but stay strong. Remember, mental strength is important. This is the time for you to really dig deep mentally, for you to really, really, really knuckle down, and don't get complacent. Understand that when the year comes back around again and we're now going back to normality, we're going to be running. And I told my staff the same thing, that guys, when we come back into the office and things are now starting to get to normal, we're going to be working overtime and working long hours all the time to catch up, because of the interruptions. And I imagine for students around the country, it will be the exact same situation, that when we do come back to proper learning, your lecturers will be pushing you to get a lot more work done in a lot of a shorter space of time. And so you have to be ready for that. So don't see this as a chance for you to go and just, sit at home on and just like binge on series and social media and whatnot. You keep your mind fresh, keep it agile, keep learning, stay focused. Like I said, whatever it is that you wanted to do that you never got a chance to do, now's the time to do it. I was saying to a friend of mine, to my business partners, that one day when we're rich and famous, we can look back at this time and we'll be able to tell people a story about how our business survived COVID-19 when there was no other way and we couldn't really see a way. We made a way. We made our own way. And here we are today, a multi-billion-dollar business, but it wasn't always a multi-billion-dollar business. We've come a long way and we've weathered many storms. This is a storm that is building that story for you. And you're building your testimony, you're building your story, you're building your book. This is where your book is going to be written. Those moments when things got so hard that you could not see a way out. The future looked bleak, it looked uncertain, people didn't know what was going on, but you stayed focused, you stayed calm, you didn't give in to the panic, and you grinded. Keep your head down and grind. That's all I can say to you. Keep your head down and keep grinding. People are sleeping. What's going to happen in the next 21 days is people are going to be sleeping, just high and not getting much done. Taking advantage of like 21 days of leave, basically. But you can't do that. When people are sleeping, you got to be awake, you got to be running, because that's how you move forward. That is how you get the advantage over your peers. If you're sleeping, you're falling behind, you're losing, because there's another kid out there who is outworking you and is basically going to out-succeed you after 21 days. And you won't be able to catch up because you had 21 days to do something with it, you did nothing, and now you must just watch those who have planted their seeds, just watch them, reap what they sowed. Watch them now take in their harvest. So yeah, that's my advice to you guys. That's my advice to myself. I'm going to stick to it. Like I said, my thing is I want to learn coding. So at the end of this, I would have coded my own app, multiple apps. My thing is I want to code an app a day, even if it's just like a small elementary app. As I'm learning different skills, I want to put those skills into an app. So by the end of 21 days, I'm hoping to have 21 apps. That like workable apps, you know what I mean? Working apps. My other thing is to put more time into my businesses and really strengthen our foundation. So my partners and I have scheduled Skype calls and whatnot with each other. We'll be doing a lot of that stuff. Like I said, my album is launching now in April, on the 1st of April. So that's exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. So I'll be working on that online because it's a digital release. So yeah. So I don't know what you guys are going to be up to. I don't know if there are any questions. I'm just going to pause for a second here and see if there are any more questions. We should be wrapping up in about 5 or so minutes. So if you guys have questions, comments, or anything that you want to say, just like type them through right now. I'm going to wait for them. New applicants. I don't know when the new applicants. Do you mean new? I'm assuming you mean new applicants for when? For 2021? Do you mean for next year? Uh, Sorry for everyone else who can't see the questions. I don't know if you guys can see them, but the question is, when will we start receiving responses for new applicants? I don't know. Hey, Edwin. I don't work in the admissions or in the applications department, so unfortunately I can't give you a response on that one. I'm sorry. I'm assuming you're asking about the 2021 applications. If you're asking about 2021, I imagine it'll be later on in the year, but I honestly don't know. Can't help you there. Yeah, I'm gonna wait another like couple of minutes for any other questions or any comments. If anybody has anything to add, you guys can always still get a hold of me on my WhatsApp. I've got a WhatsApp line, so you guys still can chat to me on that platform as well. But nevertheless, I wish you guys all the best of luck with the situation right now, with the lockdown. We will be in touch. Like I said, please, I'm still available on all social media platforms, as well as WhatsApp. You guys can text me, DM me on Insta or Facebook. ISFAP, like everyone at ISFAP is still working, so you still have that level of support when you need it, and so forth. So yeah, man, it's been good, guys. Please stay safe out there. Respect the president's decree and stay indoors. Don't try tempting the system, but most importantly, God bless. Stay focused. Put your head down and just grind the hell out of the next 21 days, and grind the hell out of the uncertain times that we're living in. I wish you guys all the best, all well, that you guys are safe, that your families are safe, and that as a nation we get out of this, but as a community of students around the country, that you guys get out of this better off than you were going into it. So good luck. God bless. We'll be in touch. Malele. I'm out.